Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I have so much fun planned for you today. I've got all these amazing coaches and rockstar real estate professionals standing right over here, one at a time. We're going to hear their very best idea to help you make even more money, sell more houses, get more customer satisfaction, get more joy from your business, and ultimately achieve the kind of breakthrough results you want. That's why you're listening to this podcast. So let's bring up our first guest. And by the way, this is going to get a little zany, just in case you're wondering. Carrie Craig, come on up here. What's up? So Coach Carrie Craig, also selling real estate in North Orange County, California. Carrie, very quickly, how long have you been selling real estate?
34 years.
34 years, and how long have you been coaching now?
Over 25 years.
Over 25 years. So we both started together when we were babies.
Exactly.
So are you going to talk about your business, or are you going to talk about something that you're doing with your clients?
I'm going to talk about both.
Awesome. So
I'm talking about what's changed my life as a realtor and also helped me as a coach.
Ooh, change your life as a real estate agent. All right, so Carrie, fire away. Let's hear it. What's your best idea?
My best idea is role playing. And I know that's old school and nobody likes to hear it and nobody wants to talk about it, but it's the number one way that it will change your life once you learn what to say to people.
Okay, so tell me why. Why does that change my life?
When I first started in the business, I was like, well, what do I say? If I just knew what to say, I know that I could make this happen. I knew I could do this job if I just knew what to say. And when you did the productivity schools many, many years ago, I was there with all of those and I learned what to say and I knew how to respond to people. I knew what to say. And it changed my life. So now as being a coach, if I always tell my clients, if there's one thing I could just bonk you on the head and give you, it would be what to say to these people. And in working with people and in coaching for so many years, I do a lot of role playing on my coaching calls. And I hear from my clients all the time, and the coaching clients will say, I heard you in the back of my mind saying this, and therefore I was able to get them to sign the contract. I was able to do, whatever it was that they wanted to accomplish, whether it be at an open house, whether it's asking the client to sign the contract at a listing appointment, whatever, but they're hearing it and it all comes from role playing. It's just practice.
Confidence.
Yes.
It gives people confidence. So are we going to role play right now?
Sure.
So let's grab somebody to role play with.
Yeah.
Who wants to role play? Okay, Matt, you're up. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brit Bear. All right. Tucson, Arizona in the house. All right, so you're role playing, I'm observing. So give us the scenario. What are we going to role play here?
So we can role play coming into an open house because I think nowadays things are opening up again. We're starting to have open houses. If you do an open house right, it can be very, very successful. So Tom talks about doing mega open houses, which is something I highly recommend. I personally have had a lot of success with them. So I've mailed postcards out to the neighborhood. I'm inviting all the neighbors to come into my open house. And Matt comes walking into my open house. And the first thing I say to him is, hi, my name is Carrie. Are you out looking at open houses today or do you live in the neighborhood?
No, I actually live in the neighborhood.
You live in the neighborhood. Great. Are you thinking about selling or are you just looking for decorating tips?
Well, decorating tips firstly.
First.
But I'd also be interested to know what this house is selling for.
Okay. So did you receive my postcard?
I did actually, yes. Thank you.
Okay, good. So the property is listed for $800,000.
Okay.
Okay. So come in and take a look around and then come back and let me know how this house compares to your house, okay?
Okay, sounds great.
Perfect. So that's the trick. I give him a job to do.
Love that.
And then he comes back around.
What was the opening line again? Like it was so are you just like, are you shopping? What was the line again? Are you shopping?
Are you out looking at open houses today or do you live in the neighborhood?
And why do you ask that?
Because if they're out looking at open houses, then the line for that one is you're out looking at open houses. Great. Did you find us online or did you see the signs?
Okay, so let's hear that version. So
Okay,
just
so-
say no. I'm out looking at open houses.
No. I'm driving around, spending the day looking at open houses.
Okay, great. So did you see the signs or did you find us online?
We found you online.
You found me online. Okay, great. So you already pretty much know about the house then, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, great. Come in, take a look around, and then come back to me and let me know what you think about it. Or I'll give you a job to do. Come in, take a look around. They just redid the backyard. It is just fabulous. Go take a look at it and then come back and let me know what you think, okay?
Okay, sounds great.
Great.
So now either way, let's have him come back, but let's be the neighbor. So you're the neighbor. He just came back and he took a look. What do you do next?
So tell me, how does this house compare to yours?
It's very similar. We've got a couple of upgrades in the bathrooms that they don't have, and our backyard's actually a little bigger.
Oh, okay, great. Is it the same floor plan as this?
Yes, it is, yeah.
It is. Okay, perfect. So you've got a few more upgrades. So then you think this is listed at $800. Your house might be worth a little bit more?
I'd like to think so, yeah.
You'd like to, of course. We all like to think that, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. So are you guys thinking about making a move?
We weren't.
You weren't?
We weren't.
Would you like to?
The fact that my wife's still in the backyard states that we may be selling soon.
Oh,
yes.
okay, great. Okay, great. So you're thinking about when you sell your home, then where do you want to move to?
We'd like to stay in the area, but we'd actually like to downsize, if anything.
Okay, so you've got a bigger house now and you want to get something smaller?
It's too big for us, yeah.
Too big for you guys. And ideally, how soon would you like to be in that smaller home?
Again, that all depends on what my wife says.
Okay, great.
Me, maybe 12 months. Her, maybe 2 weeks.
Okay, great. So it sounds like I need to be talking to your wife. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct.
Do you actually say that?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Such a great line.
Yeah. So it sounds like I need to be talking to your wife.
Bring the wife in, Keri.
Hi there.
Grab the microphone.
All right.
Get in
yeah,
there.
I'm out of here.
Husband and wife, here we go.
Hi there.
Hi, Keri. My name is Keri too. Isn't that a coincidence?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Exactly. Cut from the same mold, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
So I was just talking to your husband, and he said that you guys were possibly thinking about making a move, but it sounds like you're the decision maker in the family. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. Happy wife, happy life.
I was just going to say that.
That's exactly what's going to happen the entire time during this podcast.
Right. I was just going to say that. Happy wife, happy life, which is great. So now that you've seen this house, I was talking to Maddie, said you guys have the same floor plan as this. But you guys have a few more upgrades. Is that right?
We have a few more upgrades, but just like you said, we really want to downsize. I mean,
Okay.
the kids are gone, and the house is just too big for us. But we love the area, love the neighborhood.
Okay, great. Very, very good. So when would you ideally like to be in a smaller home?
Well, you tell me. I mean, does the market tend to slow down this time of year, or should we wait until the spring? Because we've always heard spring is the best time to sell.
Spring is the best time to sell, but it's also can be a little more challenging to buy during that time. So whatever market you sell in is going to be the market that you buy in.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Okay.
What about what all services do you offer? I mean, do you offer what would you do to get
I
my
have a
home
full
sold?
range of services that I offer. What we need to do is sit down and have set an appointment. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds good.
So today is Sunday. I could come by tomorrow night, Monday night around 6 or 7 o'clock. Which would work best for you?
Monday at 7 o'clock would be great.
Monday at 7 o'clock. Okay, great. And so then I would get a little bit more. So Matt has said that you went through and you updated your bathrooms. What other upgrades have you guys done?
Well, we've landscaped the backyard really nicely, and the front yard we fresh paint all the way around on the exterior, and bathroom upgrades and new flooring upstairs.
Great. So it sounds like you guys have really got your house dialed in and ready to sell then,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Okay.
It would show like a model.
Oh, perfect. Oh, good. I can't wait to see it then. So just out of curiosity's sake, because when I come out and we meet and what I say makes sense and you feel comfortable and confident that I can sell your home, are you guys going to be ready to, and actually if I can even set up a timeline on how we can get your home sold.
I should probably tell you my husband's really cheap. And you should know that going into it, just so you know how to deal with him.
Okay. And I appreciate your honesty.
Was that your alter ego, by the way?
I appreciate your honesty. That's okay, Matt. Matt, you could stay in the other room. We'll just have the appointment. It'll be a girl appointment, okay? Exactly. And we'll just have you come in and sign the paperwork when we need it, okay? Exactly. Okay, great. So I'm glad you told me that. I can bring a lot of information just to show you exactly how I'm going to be able to get you top dollar for your home.
Well, we know that homes are selling for a way over asking price, so we would really like to start out to at the top of the price range, so we can get the most amount of money for our house.
And I can appreciate that. And there's a couple different ways to look at that. But when I come and meet you on Monday night at 6 o'clock, we'll go through all of that stuff. And I could just really give you the selling strategy on how you can get top dollar in this market, but more importantly, get the terms that you want.
Okay, yes.
And especially since you're going to have to buy something else, we're really going to need to look at the terms, what the buyer's going to be coming in with
for
to
sure.
help you guys out then, okay?
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah, you're really good.
Very.
Okay, so Matt, come back over here, and Keri, stay here. So, obviously we're talking about role playing, she
Right.
was, right? And yeah, here comes the cheap husband, by the way. Brought to you by Jill Biggs. So how did you both, you obviously, you guys are both amazing agents. You've been doing this for a long time. You understand the power of knowing what to say. Being in the position of the potential seller, the neighbor, how did you feel with the questions she was asking? Did it feel abrupt at all? Did it feel scripted? Just give us your honest feedback.
Oh no, especially when you're meeting a perfect stranger at an open house. Her questions were exactly the questions she needs to ask to get the right answers, and I didn't feel like she was pushy at all. So, and she was kind of diverting any type of confrontational type of conversation, and saving that for the in-person appointment. I think that was super good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, what about you? Into the mic.
Yeah, the whole yeah, there we go. See that? The first couple of questions, just so you understand where you stand with this person. Are you looking to buy? Or are you just here for looking for decorating tips? I think that's so good and well to do very quickly. I think a lot of people can just let them roam around the home first and then try and figure that out afterwards. But knowing that right from the get-go was spot on.
Right.
Really.
Right.
And I love the fact giving them a job to do. Hey, can you check out the bathroom and let me know what you think? That's so good.
Finding the key features of the house, pointing in that direction to get their feedback.
Right.
So what is your advice then, Keri, for everyone listening right now or watching? What's the action you want them to take in regards to role playing?
Get the scripts, and read them out loud over and over and over again. These words, a lot of the words that I used were words from way back when, from your dad, actually. You know what I mean? So when we get together to meet, okay, and you feel comfortable and confident that I can sell your home.
Nice and better command there.
But I read these out loud over and over and over and over again, so they've become me. Okay, and that's the key to it. Is everybody's like, oh, I sound scripted. It doesn't sound like me. You're right. They're not your words. They're not going to sound like you. So you need to read them out loud over and over and over again, so they become you. So years ago, when Tim Smith was on the stage, he had his 3 questions. Have you had any thoughts of moving? Do you know anyone who's had any thoughts of moving? And do you know anybody who tried to sell their home at some point in time and wasn't able to? I thought they were fabulous questions. So I come back and I do a coaching call and I'm trying to say this and I'm stumbling over the words. And I'm thinking, oh my God, Keri, but why are you stumbling over the words? And then it dawned on me, they're Tim Smith's words. They're not my words. So I sat in my chair in my office and said, have you had any thoughts of moving? Had any thoughts of moving? Do you know anyone who's had a thought of moving? Do you know anyone who's had a thought? Over and over and over again. So now they're my words and they just roll off my tongue and everybody thinks that I'm a natural and I've all these great things. And all it is saying the same stuff over and over and over again.
Well, and just, fun fact for everybody, we've all remembered the UCLA study that said, when you're thinking about communication, it breaks down into 3 different categories: the words, the tonality, and your physiology, right? So 7% of your total communication are the words, right? But 38% is the tone. And that's where people that's the you in it, right? And if you guys all notice with Keri was watching, if you actually grab Keri's hands, she can't talk.
Right.
Because Keri's like, why don't you go look around the house and what I will do is, right?
Really?
Yeah,
That's exactly.
Those are the advancements, Keri. We cannot shift.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
you
All right.
told us
Jump
to jump in. I
Yes.
just wanted to say something. So I loved everything that you said. The one thing I tell my new agents is if you're having a conversation with somebody and somebody else comes into the house, stay with the person that you're having the conversation with, because if you leave them, you end up hopping from person to person. You never make any real rapport. You say, hey, can you sign in for me and I'll be with you shortly? And then, right? That way you have the other person's contact so if you don't go back to them, but sticking with them and finishing that, so at least you get one appointment.
Right, and you want to finish that. If people want to talk to you, they will wait until you're done talking to somebody. So I've actually been at open houses and had people lined up waiting to talk to me, just because they want more information about the house or they want to know something. So what Jill said is absolutely correct, because you want to have that same dialogue and you don't want to be interrupted from that.
That's awesome. So what I'm hearing is, if you want more confidence, if you want to do more business, you've got to start role playing. You got to make the words yours.
Make the words yours. Ask for the appointment. One of the gals that I coach in Arizona, she was primarily a buyer's agent, and it was just no, we've got to flip this around. So we role played the close over and over and over and over, so that when she went on a listing appointment, she did, based on everything I've shared with you today. Do you feel that I can sell your home? Yes.
You notice her hands, by the way, when she said, do you feel that I can sell your home? Yes.
Do you feel that I can sell your home? Yes, great. Let's sign the paperwork. And it works. And so.
Confidence. All right, Keri.
Confidence.
Okay, thank you so
Excellent.
much for
Very
kicking this
good.
off. All right.
Okay.
Robert, Mack, you're up. This is the first one I've ever had. This is basically, what is it? It's like battle rapping right now. That's what we're actually doing. It's battle rapping for the best agents and coaches. So, Robert Mack, tell them who you are, where you're from.
Robert Mack, Newport Beach. I've been selling real estate for 16 years and been a loyal coaching client of yours for over 10 years. And I'm here because of you. So thank you for everything you do.
You do the work, brother. You do the work. I open the doors. All right, so you're going to share an idea that's working for you in your business. Keep the microphone nice and close. Let's hear the idea, man. What do you got for us? All right, so give us context. What is, what lead source, and then go into it.
So we're looking to attract more listings, right? And this is an idea that's not new to the ecosystem. We've been talking about this for like 2 or 3 years. I'm a big storyteller. If you follow me on Instagram, you read my posts, I'm always trying to create some type of emotional connection with the audience. And a couple years ago, I learned that we could do that with listings and get a lot more feedback. So what we do is we basically create case studies around our just solds, which has kind of morphed into us elevating our listing presentation as well. Because what happens is I go into a listing presentation, I'm all passionate about doing what I do, and I'm just like, to the owner, and they're like, I see where you're going with this, but I don't really see where you're going with it. And unless they trust you implicitly, it's not gonna work out. So, I would say 20% of our clients that we deal with are referrals, so they know who we are and they trust us. But the strangers online, the people that meet us on Google, on Zillow, they're like, who are you? What do you do? And I need more from you if I'm going to hire you and pay you what you want.
Yes.
So we translated that into our case study, which I can go into.
Please.
Yeah, awesome. So what we do is we pride ourselves in home preparation. So what we do is we will do everything we can to get the home ready to show as a metaphorical model home. That takes 3 to 4 weeks. And rather than doing all that work, selling the home for a record-breaking price and then sending out a just sold to the neighborhood, we actually dissect it all and say, okay, well, these are the 5 things we addressed, right? So do we need to paint the inside of the house? Do the carpets need to be replaced? Do they need to be changed? Do we need to declutter? Do we need to bring a designer into the property and stage the home? All those things matter. So what we do is on our marketing piece, we actually break it down and write, week 1, this is what we did. We brought in the vendors. Week 2, we had all the vendors give us proposals and start the work. Week 3, design. And then week 4 is our marketing, where we take photos and videos and 3-dimensional renderings and all that fun stuff. The second part of the piece is what the results were.
Yeah.
So now we're telling people what we did, and then the results are, and I took some notes here.
Okay, I want to stop just really fast. For everybody out there, you guys have all seen this because I've been talking about this postcard from Robert Mack for like 3 or 4 years now. So somebody come up to the microphone. Anybody? Let's go. Oh, it's Carrie Craig again.
Carrie Craig again, because I did it and it worked. So
Right. Okay, so you've done this postcard.
Yes.
Who does it attract? Does it attract, does it attract the high analytical who is like, now tell me all the details of what you're going to do? Because I'd be like, I don't give a shit. Just get my home sold for the highest possible price and get out of my house. Right?
Yeah.
So who is this for? And have you found any personality-based connections or maybe disconnections?
So we try to incorporate every element to basically have 100% audience engagement, right? So we've got nice, pretty pictures, right? So the first piece, the 1.0 that you shared at the summit 2 or 3 years ago, was just the data.
Yes.
And then what we did on the backside, because we've improved the piece, is we take professional before photos and professional after photos. Nice. So now we're able to show the consumer, hey, this is everything that we did, but you can see now what it looked like when we first walked in to what it looks like when the buyers walked in. And so I think every piece of the element attracts the right type of person. And so whether you're an analytical or you're an amiable, I feel like there's elements that engage with all parties.
Carrie,
Well, you're putting different examples on there, so you're going to attract different types of people as well. So you've got the visual person who sees the before and after.
Right.
You've got the analytical who sees the stats on how many views online, all of that stuff. Excuse me. So you're attracting a wide variety of people to see this, and then once again, who you work with matters.
Yeah, totally. And that was the goal, right? I mean, you got to do something to be able to make it better.
Yeah. So go back to your piece.
So the first part of the piece is week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, we break it down so that the consumer understands okay, what do I have to go through and how long is it going to take? The second part of the piece is what were the results, right? So how many views online did we get? How many open house attendees that came through? How many private showings? How many offers? How many days on the market? And how many dollars, or what was the percentage it sold above asking price? So now the consumer that likes data sees everything we did and what the results were.
Yeah.
The consumer that loves pretty pictures gets to see the results of all the work that was done. Even if they don't care about what we did, they just go, oh my God, it went from that to that, I'm sold. The best part about this piece is that when we get calls now from people, it's not about I'm interviewing agents, I want you to come tell me what my home is worth. It's I saw what you did with my neighbor's house.
Social proof.
I saw how much more above asking price you sold it for. My husband and I want to sell. Can you come over and tell us what you think our home is worth? So there's this massive amount of built-in credibility because I basically opened up my book to what I do, there's full transparency there.
Aren't you concerned that other
Wait a minute,
agents are
wait
going to
a
come in?
minute.
Yeah.
Yes, Jill?
super impressed because I'm very full service, and the before and after pictures, I think really, like, I have never done the before and after.
So that was Carrie White's idea.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, photos are like 100 to 150 bucks.
Call me dude or her?
You.
She's my personal.
I've called her dude too. I think I've called her dude. No, but so Carrie White showed me this reel of like before and after
Shout out
shots.
to Carrie White.
Yeah, and she was.
I almost said I married her. That'd be weird.
did?
I officiated the wedding.
You did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not married. Sorry, Eric.
No, so I was like, Carrie, do you go in and take photos? Because I always thought like taking before photos is a waste of money professionally.
Sure.
But after I looked at the cost, I was like, well, we can create a much better slide deck because the photographer has the same angle, so you can actually see apples to apples what the room transformation looked like. So now it's if there's a home that we're gonna go all in on, professional photos first.
Yeah.
And we always tell our client,
Who's paying for all of this?
we do.
That was my question too. Yeah.
We pay for all marketing.
Okay.
We pay for all marketing. Anything home preparation is a seller responsibility.
So Jill, you got that? That's the key though. So anything that's seller preparation.
Let me give you a little suggestion, right?
Oh, we're doing coaching in the
So,
middle of the podcast.
Come in. You're half in, half out.
Oh, okay. I also do everything you do except for those pictures, which I will be stealing. You're going to email that to
I'm
me.
honored that I'm
right?
helping you grow your business.
JillKBiggs@gmail.com.
I got you.
Right. However, I tell the seller the whole thing, and all of this is on me. The only thing we charge is the $500 move-in, move-out fee. That way, I'm getting $1,000 back. They never even think about it because I said everything is free. And you could get that $1,000, which would be $1,000.
Yeah.
Which would be
I wanna talk to you
$1,000.
more
I mean,
about
you're talking about like 500 transactions.
I know.
Those $1,000
I know.
add up real quick.
Go get the money.
Okay. We'll talk after.
Go get the money.
No. So yeah. So for the viewers out there that are watching, so we do everything marketing related, right? So photos, videography, blah blah. Anything home preparation. If homeowners are cleaning carpet, replacing carpet, painting, that's their responsibility. Have I made exceptions? 100%. There are always, it's a business decision, but most of the time I try to keep them separate. I want them to have a little bit of skin in the game.
So Robert, someone's listening right now and they're like, oh my God, the market is so hot. Why would I wait 4 or 5 weeks? Buyers are going to come in and they're going to buy whatever house and they're going to make it their own anyway. So why would you take all that time? Why not just hit enter in the MLS, get a paycheck and move on?
Yeah, we get that question 99 out of 100 times. So we're not in the house looking to make any like real major modifications. I'm not talking about replacing cabinets or changing countertops or even adding like new flooring. It's really about taking what we've got and elevating it to the highest possible level because we already know a buyer's going to come in and probably, I've done that. I've done a whole new kitchen remodel. Buyer comes in and goes, I hate these colors. What a waste of 30 grand, right? So I'd much rather spend 5 to 10 grand on design and miscellaneous repairs. So we have a 5-point auditing system where we go through and it's like, okay, we do a home inspection first. And that's a whole nother podcast.
And you have to also talk about what the 5-point auditing system is because everyone should write that down.
Yeah,
Is that like the Robert Mack, we're the only team in town that has a 5-point auditing system?
Probably the only team that calls it the 5-point auditing system.
But that's anytime you can do that, it's specific, it's unique, you own
Right.
it. My agent did a
People like
5-point
lists.
auditing system.
Yeah.
Right?
So-
Especially the blue people, they're like, oh yeah.
Exactly. So we go through and it's like, it's paint number one, right? Because we all know that paint in a can is $20, paint on the walls $1,000 to $5,000. That's my
That's a
opinion.
good listing line, by the way. That's paint in the can, $20, but on the walls,
Maybe $5
grand.
Right, so painting the walls to make it light and bright, depersonalizing, making miscellaneous repairs from issues that we find on the home inspection, design, and then carpet, flooring. If there's carpet, we're going to clean it up. If it's bad, we replace it.
Just one more time. You're not painting and paying for the painting, are
No.
you? Okay.
Anything home preparation.
Jill's very cost
I'll give you the whole outline.
Jill,
I'll give you the whole outline at dinner. You said no rules, bro.
I said no, but no rules means I can take it out of here.
Totally.
Come back in a minute, Jill.
Yeah, I actually have lost my train of thought.
What's the third? So 1 is paint.
Number 2
is
flooring, like carpet replacement or repair.
3 is
depersonalize.
4 is
declutter, and design. Right. So and then the miscellaneous repairs are in there as well, right? Like, here's the thing: when buyers walk into a property, if they see something that's off, my opinion is okay. buyers need to be in the highest emotional state when they walk through my listings. Otherwise, we're not going to get the highest and best price. The minute they go to logic, we're kind of screwed. Yep. So if they see like a weird something on the wall or the floor, automatically buyers are going to go, well, if that's messed up, what else is messed up? Right. So it's all about, again, making the home look as presentable as possible and making it as close to a metaphorical model home as possible. We want buyers to fall in love. I've sold homes that were outdated and old, but with the modern design that my stager brings to the table, people literally, 5-point auditing system, people don't even know. And then they remove contingencies and all the staging comes out and I'm like, yikes, they paid how much for this place? But it's the design. It's the $5,000 to $10,000 in design. That's what's getting our sellers the most amount of money. So to go back to your question, the market's hot. Why should we do all this stuff? We've actually done research. We've actually found that homes are selling for significantly more than what they would sell for in our hot market when they engage with a buyer emotionally, because right now buyers are willing to pay whatever they have to do to win, especially for a move-in ready property.
Does he not sound like he's on a listing apartment right now?
Well, I know you've got, I don't know, man. I know your home's on the market in Newport. If it doesn't sell, I want to be the next guy. And I'm down to go. I know.
Hashtag tips,
Hey, just give me a chance, man.
Okay, so you do all this work, you get the property sold in a record amount of time, you get them a great price. Tell us about how you market it afterwards and what's the impact. Because going back to my question, like, well, why would I even do all this stuff? Like, the house is going to sell anyway, and the buyer wants to do what they want to do to it. You do all this stuff, you get them a record price. What's the marketing afterwards? This postcard, how many people? Do you go on social? Is there a video version of this? Where's my brother Patrick? Like, to me, this sounds like a video that should be created on every one of these before and after, and then marketing that to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, every place else just makes sense to me.
Totally. That's the next step. So we've been kind of lagging on it and just been hanging out in our comfort
Such
zone.
a lagger.
I know. So we've continued to upgrade the piece. We started out with a half-page double-sided. Now it's a full page. And we just mail it out to the immediate area. So anywhere between like 750 and 2,000 properties. And we usually get anywhere from 3 to 5 people raising their hands. And those people go in our database, and we obviously go through the scripts and understand their motivation and their timelines. And depending on where they're at, they go into the database. And it's been very profitable for us. That's how we've been able to generate more listings this year than in the past. We definitely need to upgrade to video 100%.
I have a question, Robert. Are you using this practice with expireds?
We are using with expireds, but we just haven't had that many expireds in our market for the last year and a half.
But it's a great strategy.
Yeah. It's just, again, it's opening it up to people.
Do you notice that only women come over and ask questions?
all the guys are scared or something.
This is the no hair zone. You do not want to go over there.
But I definitely need to get my video game on. I'm almost there. But no, I'm not. No, but honestly, the video is the next step. Just I'm kind of a perfectionist, right? We talk about this, done is better than perfect. So I've got all these ideas in my head of how I want it to go down. We just need to do it like we did the first piece, the direct mail, and just improve from there. But that is the next evolutionary step in our process.
The good news is if you already have photos of this, you could just do a simple video and like a voiceover, slideshow, before and after, boom, you're in the game. So my challenge to you is you got to get one done by the end of November. Gives you plenty of time. Plenty of time. Okay, yeah. Timmy, what do you got for us, man?
I just want to add on to what he's saying here with the postcard. How do we drive more people from that postcard back to a website that now shows 6 or 7 of these that he's done? Now we retarget them that we've already had them on our website, seeing these 6 or 7 other videos you've done. Now you can retarget those people. Now you got the postcard going out and the retargeting on social media.
Yeah, fantastic.
Jackpot.
QR codes all day long, right? Are you doing a QR code yet on the postcard? Oh, no. So if you're getting 3 or 4 or 5 phone calls, you're missing probably 20 or 30 people that would just, because we just walk up now like, QR code's been around since what? Remember NAR 12 years ago? Everyone's like, I'm going to get a QR code. And like it just went and just died 90 days later. But now every restaurant we go to, QR code every single time. It's become culturally relevant again. Yeah. So that's another plus.
That's a great idea. I love that idea.
Just remember, as you're doing all this stuff, guys, figure out how to repurpose it multiple times. We just don't want to send the postcard out. How do we leverage the postcard into 3 or 4 more touches that we can get them into our ecosystem? Because some people are going to do it today, some people are going to do it 18 months from now, but how do we stay in that ecosystem?
I'm stuck in 2010. I got to get to 2022 and create the video and the QR code and all that fun stuff.
And let's be clear, you're over $1 million in GCI this year, by the way. Congratulations.
Right?
right? Congrats. Imagine when he finally steps it up and starts doing all this.
I know. How much business am I losing right now because of that? But hey, I'm here. I learned. I'm going to take this information and execute.
And by the way, for the person watching right now, all of this content is also, if you sign up for the summit or you buy the live cast whenever this comes out, it's all there. All this postcard stuff, he shared it with everybody. So thank you. All right, Keri Emery, you're up.
All right.
Keri. All right, so Keri, first of all, I feel like I should do I need to make this taller? The table taller? Is that better?
Yeah, exactly. Or I need a phone book or
there
something.
you go. Yeah, we might need the Apple Watch. All right. So, Keri, tell them who you are, where you're from, how long you've been in the business, and where you're working now.
Okay, Keri Emery. I Dallas, Texas for 24 years, which is exactly how long I've been in the business. Matter of fact, it's where I went to my first productivity school in 1997 and signed up for coaching right then and there on the spot. Yeah.
Yes, Steve Almonte, your first coach.
Yeah.
I remember.
He made me cry. He was hard. He was a hard coach.
He hasn't changed at all.
No, he was a great coach. And then I'm sitting here with my other previous coach and my new coach. So
yes. All right. So now, but you made a move also. You're a dual agent.
I am now. I am working the Breckenridge, Colorado market. Vastly different from the Dallas market.
Yeah. In about a million different ways.
I've been there about a year, and I am still learning. I still feel like I have a long way to go, but it's a fascinating market, and it's kind of good to see something totally different because when people move to Dallas, most of the time it's for a job, but there it's for a vacation.
Second home
resort market. Yeah, it's definitely different because they don't have to move there. They can pick Jackson Hole, Wyoming. They can pick Park City, Utah. So
it's 1,000% emotional.
Exactly.
There is no data or math in second home purchase.
Exactly.
It's just like, oh my God, I can see us here. Let's go.
Exactly.
So what do you want to talk about today? What's your big aha you want to share with everybody?
This isn't really an aha. Well, it should be an aha because I have done this my entire career. And I'm shocked, and now even learning in moving to different markets, and a lot of agents don't do this. To me, it is about relationships. My clients, when they first call me or when I get referred somebody, it's not about what they're looking for. I take the real estate portion out right off the bat, and I focus on them. Tell me about your family. Tell me about the things your family likes to do, and then I can help guide you to where you're going to get the most lifestyle out of wherever you live. And I did that in Dallas, and I'm doing it in Colorado. So that's been, and it's building relationships and when you do that, when you start off making a friend, the trust factor is immediately really high, and getting them to sign the contract, getting them to listen to how you negotiate for them, it's so much easier. And I have lifelong clients that are friends, client parties. And as a matter of fact, my client parties were so engaging for everybody there that 2 years later, two of my clients walked in together, and I'm like, did you guys ride here together? And they're like, yeah, we're friends now. We have coffee together all the time.
Isn't that great?
So that's what I'm surprised how many agents don't do that.
So is there a script or a method that everybody's got a play that they run, right? So you're not asking 16 random questions on one meeting and then asking 14 totally random questions on the next. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the questions that you're asking to create that? And what do you do when you have the person that is all red and you say it says, be brief, be bright, and be gone, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that would resonate. Yeah. I'm not sure if that would resonate for me, just being totally honest. So tell us about your experience with that.
Well, it's like I said, it's just when you meet somebody, I genuinely want to know, tell me about your family, For example, last weekend here in Dallas, I had a referral from one of our agents in Seattle, and they were coming here. And after the third house that we looked at, he said, tell me what the weather is. Is this normal weather for September? And I'm like, oh, no, it's actually a really nice day. It was 90 degrees, no humidity.
He's coming from Seattle, and he's it's really hot outside.
Yeah. And so he ended up telling me that he goes, this isn't going to work. This is too hot. And then I adversely said, what about Colorado? Temperature's great all the time. Even in the wintertime, it's not that, 30 degrees when the sun is shining and you're at 10,000 feet is really not that cold.
I know.
Had no idea. So
she keeps calling me when it's 3 degrees, and she's like, but it really feels like 50. Let me mention that she's wearing a winter hat every time she calls
That's
me,
in the
even in the
wintertime.
house.
So for the record, again, for the people that are watching or listening, the one thing I said to everybody is there are no rules. We're just going to have, this is just battle rapping for, best ideas. So you get this emotional connection with them because it obviously it removes sort of the salesperson relationship.
Exactly.
You remove all the guards away from them.
Yeah,
and now you
absolutely.
just have an honest conversation.
And I'm genuine about it though. It's not a canned script or anything. I genuinely want to know. Tell me, do you have dogs? Are they big dogs? Do they like to play outside? Do you like to run with the dogs? Or I genuinely want to know because that also help.
But it is a script. It might not sound canned. It's a script.
1,000%. This is like, if anybody read the book, and if you haven't read this, it's an older book called Soft Selling in a Hard World. Remember that book? And it was all about if you just get to know people, right? The whole time we were like, do you have dogs? Oh, we do. All right, you're like, okay, do they need a small yard, a big yard? Like, you're assessing everything that they're giving you. So give us like 5 questions that you think most agents don't ask.
I don't think they ask what their clients' kids' names are or their dogs' names, and I do. I just this morning I was scrolling through Facebook and there was a client that was at a football game yesterday in Kansas City, and I said, "Man, Jackson is getting big. He's really growing," And I remember from when he was born. So anyway, I ask questions, ask their kids' names, their dogs' names, what they loved about the house that they're selling, or what they loved about where they lived and why they're moving here. What choices, what has caused the move to Dallas or Breckenridge, actually. Breckenridge is a little bit different story, but it's...
Is your brain a CRM or do you have a CRM that you put all this? Like, where does all this information go?
my brain.
Okay, Frank, what are you going to say here, man?
This is a quick question. One of the questions that I feel like a lot of agents miss is how much time do you spend looking for a home?
That's a great question.
Why
do you ask that?
Because it gives you some insight into what their mindset is. Are you spending a lot of time? Oh, we're spending every weekend looking for homes. We've been in Zillow every weekend for the last 6 months, or when we get time.
So that
tells me a lot.
Does that tell you that they're maybe not that motivated, or?
To me, it does.
Yeah.
Why?
It could say they're not motivated. It could say they're just that busy. But I feel like
That's
you make
what
a
I was
priority.
thinking of,
Yeah.
like, are they just too busy so they need me to take it on? But you...
Well, I mean, if you think about it like this, anything that's really important to me, I make the time for it.
Yeah.
And so busy or not, we find the time for the things we care about. So it just gives you a little insight, I think.
Love it. So what's the advice you have for everybody? So you said one is like, kids, but back to the question about CRM, is that like, do you have the ability to just remember all this stuff? Or do you actually put it into a CRM so you're like, what was that person's dog's name?
No, sometimes I actually remember. There are a few people though that
I have to add this. In my phone, it says big fat lady with mole, right?
Yeah.
I save everything, so the phone rings and you got to change that after you get to know them.
Yes, you definitely. Could you imagine if you text that person and it actually shows that? That would be horrible. It does, by the way, Jill. Okay.
So no, I do take some notes. I take notes, but I'm also friends with a lot of my clients on social media.
Okay, but at scale, how many transactions a year? Like, it's your biggest transactional year. How many transactions?
Just myself was maybe 62.
So 62 transactions, 24 years. Even if you just average 30 a year or 15 a year, that's a lot of people to remember. Now, one thing I noticed about great agents is they have these incredible memories for either people or houses. Like they remember every house or they remember every human being. You sound like you're more the people person.
I'm the people person, but it's also because I call them often. So I have conversations with them, even when they're not in the market to buy a house. It's like, hey guys, how's it going? I noticed you were at the football game yesterday. Sorry for your loss. My team won. It's having conversations.
How many people do you talk to from your database on a weekly basis?
I talk to 14 to 20 people a day, 5 days a week.
14 to 20 people a day. Why are you doing that?
Why not? I mean...
No, I mean, but like, so one of the things we're talking about is, there's a massive...
She has very little social life.
That is kind of a true statement.
Yes.
There's a little bit of that.
Wow. Tell us more about that. So 14 to 20 people a day. So one of the things we're talking about at the summit is if you look at the data, the research, basically, like, we loved our agent. And 68% of the time, the agent either never follows up, breaks trust. They love on you nonstop as you're about to buy the house and you close the deal and they're gone.
And that's why I do it, because I to my knowledge, I've maybe lost. I mean, I've lost a few good clients for random reasons, but it's definitely not for my lack of follow up or my lack of checking in. And I know this because I work with a lot of other agents' clients.
Here comes your coach.
And they're like,
Right. So address what you do with the realtors, because she not only builds relationships with her clients, but she's also very good at building relationships with other realtors.
Thank you, Keri. This has actually really been more true than ever, and I didn't realize how much this was going to be helpful in my change in markets. So. And it all started out by accident. I mean, a really good friend of mine, Missy from Jacksonville, Florida, she was had posted a story of being in Vail, and it's 5:30 in the morning, and I texted her at 5:30 in the morning, which fortunately she's a morning person, so she responded right away. And I was like, "Oh my God, you're in my area!" And so I said, "Hey, let's come by, let's have breakfast." Now I am reaching out to more and more agents and letting them know personally, hey, I'm working in the Breckenridge market now, and I would love to help your clients. Tom Ferry ecosystem, you know how, the agents, we work hard together. We work hard to make you look good. So that's been a new twist on my business is just reaching out to other agents. And
we talked about that when we were in Denver, like that was going to become a major. So how many agents do you try and talk to? For every person that's listening, like agent referrals, it's always in the top 10 of sort of deal flow, et cetera, amongst our client base. Keri?
What about your VIP party?
The one in Denver?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited about this. So,
I'm going to put Keri over here. This is way better. Keep going.
This is so exciting. Okay. So, after your event, and I just tried to meet as many Denver agents as possible because 50% of our market up in the high country comes from the Front Range. So
that sounds very local. The high country, they come from the Front Range. Yes, okay, yes.
Yeah, that was the first two things I learned when I moved.
It's like me saying y'all now.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotcha.
So anyway, I ended up meeting with a lender, a little independent lender, small brokerage in Cherry Creek, and we're doing a deal together. And she had commented, she's like, "Where are you from?" And I thought it was because, my accent. And she said, "No, it's the way you handle your business." And she said, can you come to Denver and let's have coffee? So I did. And we had a long conversation. She said that she used the word refreshing to work with a realtor who is on top of things, communicates, explains things to the client, even, stuff that, she didn't get around to explaining just yet from the loan portion side of the deal. Anyway, so she said, I said, "Can I sponsor a breakfast or a lunch at one of your guys' sales meetings? Let me come and meet some of your loan officers." She said, "I'll do you one better. Why don't you give me a list of 20 agents in Denver you want to connect with, and we will host a cocktail party for you."
So how'd that work out?
Oh, we're doing it in November.
Okay, coming up in November. Yeah. See, for everybody listening, that's a killer idea. I go back to, if you ever meet Patrick McLaughlin, right? He's from the Hamptons in New York. So kind of similar strategy. Like he's like, "How do I grow my business?" I'm like, "Well, where did all your business come from?" He's like, "Agents in New York City, consumers in New York City that want a place in the Hamptons." I'm like, "Well, why don't you go do sales meetings at your brokerage?" You work for Douglas Elliman. I'm like, "Just go do sales meetings and do Hampton updates." As soon as he started doing those Hampton updates, the referrals would just come in left and right. "Oh, I got somebody in the Hamptons. Who's that guy that brought us all that value? Send that to Patrick." Big shout out to Patrick, by the way. Long-time client.
Yeah, this
so
is
very smart.
I just have to say, Patrick is having his best year ever this year. He's going to be earning over. I'm coaching him too, but he's having a fabulous year. He's going to earn. He's already earned over $1 million this year.
Yeah,
he's having a great year.
Big shout out to. Make sure you text him and tell him we're talking about him. All right,
Okay.
All good things. All right, so put a bow on this. It's all relationships. It's all connecting, and it's clearly all having a memory and having no social life. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, pretty much all of that. Yeah.
All right, okay, you're out. So, wow, exactly. All right, so for my friend out there watching, I would love a comment. I would love to know feedback. I want to know what you think the best idea was. What actions are you going to take coming out of this podcast? So, thanks to all my guests, and thank you for being a part of this experience. We'll see you soon.